I'm here today with Hill Harper, decorated actor and now political hopeful. And I want to thank you for being with us, first of all. Second of all, I want to start right there. Making that transition, it's quite a leap. Wouldn't be the first person to do it. Are you looking at the blueprints from someone like Ronald Reagan, who did it first?
Well, you know, Ronald Reagan and I were definitely in the same union, for sure. Different parties. I'm proud to be a Democrat, proud to be running for this open seat being vacated by a great Democrat, and Debbie Stabenow. And when we think about where we are, if you talk about acting and activism and what that represents, it's more the people I think about are people that I wanted to be like Harry Belafonte, who was an actor and an activist, or Paul Robeson, Sidney Poitier, Ossie Davis. These are folks. I did a film with Ossie Davis one time, a Spike Lee film, and he talked to me about, if you're going to be a true artist, then you need to be political. You need to be an activist. But it really goes back to my days when I was at Harvard Law School. When I did a joint degree at Harvard Law School and the Kennedy School of Government, I was acting and doing plays then, but I was also learning about, because at that point when I went to grad school at Harvard, I really thought I was going straight into government service. I thought that's why I got a master's in government, you know. And so, but my life took, and my love and my heart for performing and acting and being an artist took over at that point in my life. But now it's kind of come full circle.
It's a pretty successful detour, I guess you could call it.
Yeah, well, I mean, listen, on TV I was saving lives, but no matter how many characters I play that save lives on TV, occupying this U.S. Senate seat gives me an opportunity to save lives in real life. And I say that without hyperbole. I say that without exaggeration. Truly, this Senate seat is the most important electoral office, in my opinion, in the country, and it's a matter of life and death who actually sits in that seat, and it impacts people's lives in that way.
I'm glad you brought that up. Why this seat specifically? Because reportedly you turned down a $20 million offer to run against Rashida Tlaib in the House.
That's right.
You said, no, I want to run for this seat in the Senate. Why was this one specifically so important to you?
Well, specifically, this Senate seat is so important because we're in a moment where we're seeing a 50-50 Senate. And when I was at Harvard Law School, my constitutional law professor would always hammer home that the U.S. Senate's the most important and powerful body in all of politics. And at that point, it wasn't even a 50-50 Senate. It was a 53-47. It could be one party or the other, and then the parties control. And so in this moment right now, and this is what I try to explain to people, because you know, you're too young to remember, but on Saturday mornings there used to be this thing where it'd be, I'm just a bill. Yes, I'm only a bill. It was Schoolhouse.
Oh, I'm well aware of the song.
And so
that has been ingrained into my head by now.
We've taken too much civics out of school, but so I have to explain to people, because a lot of people can't even tell you the difference between what a U.S. Senator does or what someone from the House of Representatives, which that offer was for me to go run against somebody from the House of Representatives versus a state senator versus a state rep, etc. And so just a quick lesson for our viewers who know, the Supreme Court decides on the constitutionality of what the Senate passes. The president or the executive branch either signs into law or vetoes what the U.S. Senate passes. The House of Representatives, that offer that I got to go target a House member, they actually can pass a bill to the U.S. Senate, but they can't pass law. It's the U.S. Senate. The U.S. Senate can take what they send, what the House sends to it, they can amend it, send it back, they can change it, they can change the title, they can add things to it. So if you're really reductive, 100 people in this country control where $7.2 trillion annually goes. And that's what this is about. 2 people from each state are making those decisions. And that's why, you know, I'm not a career politician. That's why lived experience, and we need more diversity of experience in that 100-person body, because I think all of us realize that it's broken. All of us realize that Congress is broken. All of us realize that we're not truly being represented in an effective way federally, and we need new and different people in those seats.
Is there a moment you can think back to where you said, you know what, it's time. I need to officially throw my name in the ring and run for the seat, because this is a huge issue. This is a huge gap in our state, and I need to be the one to help fill that gap?
You know, for me, it was a multitude of reasons, because it was such a massive life change. And so I thought about it a long time. It was on my heart. And my son, I was driving my son to school when he was in first grade. He just finished second grade last week. And driving him to school, he told me one day he was scared to go to school. I said, why? Because, he's scared of shootings. We're actually damaging the mental health of our kids, having them do this active shooter training drills in school, rather than actually taking on the NRA and the gun lobby and actually solving our gun issue. The number one cause of death of children, and we know it right here in Grand Rapids, just about 3 or 4 weeks ago, there was a child killed right here in Grand Rapids from guns. The number one cause of death of children today is gun violence. Yet we have a bunch of elected officials that stick their toe in the problem, act like they're actually solving something, and they're not really taking on because of the power of the NRA and the gun lobby. And it doesn't stop there. We can go down big pharma, we can talk about big oil, we can talk about corporate PACs, and it all really ends up back to a conversation about Citizens United. I don't want to get too far in the weeds, but the point is that about a decade and a half in now, because Citizens United was 2010, about a decade and a half in, we're seeing the results. Our democracy is devolving, and both parties are culpable. Both parties. And I'm running to hold both parties accountable. I want to be clear. I'm running as a Democrat in the Democratic primary, but both parties have been derelict because neither one of them want to take on Citizens United, don't want to take on super PACs, don't want to take on corporate PACs. I'm not taking any corporate PAC money. I'm not taking any major special interest money, lobbying money, etc. My opponent in this race, however, is quite the opposite. She is taking these dollars. She's taking money, almost $600,000 from AIPAC, as an example. And then people are upset about how she voted to sanction the ICC. And then you have to tie it back to, wow, if you're taking money from AIPAC, it makes sense that you would vote that way to actually try to sanction the ICC and what they did. And so these things are related. So who we elect and representation matters. It really, truly matters.
Other than campaign funding, which is an important point to bring up, what are the biggest differences, do you think, between yourself and your Democratic competitor, Alyssa Slotkin?
Okay, so a number of things, and let me first preface it, but I have nothing personal against Alyssa Slotkin. We just have different lived experience, and we just would vote and approach issues a different way. And I'll give you a couple examples. She didn't co-sponsor the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act. I would have voraciously co-sponsored that. She didn't co-sponsor the Cannabis and Expungement Act. There's no pathway to federal expungements. And, we're in a state where the folks of the state have already voted 2018 for legalization. There could be somebody that had a charge in 2017, a federal charge, and they don't have, and someone else is making profit doing the exact same thing, and they don't have a pathway to expunge their record. It's going to follow them the rest of their life. I would have certainly co-sponsored that. She didn't co-sponsor Medicare for All. I'm a massive, massive proponent of universal health care that includes also mental health care. Both my parents are doctors. My mother was one of the first black female anesthesiologists in the country. And so health care is a massive issue. It's the number one cause currently of personal bankruptcies. 1/3 of all GoFundMes is medical-related GoFundMes, not a health plan. We pay 13x for instance, a vial of insulin than our neighbors to the north. I mean, our healthcare system is broken. But because of Big Pharma and the relationship to our representatives and insurance, et cetera, there's very little political will to solve the problem. And so those are just a few examples. She voted against student loan debt relief. I'm a huge proponent of free quality pre-K through 16. Back when we had K through 12 as free and quality, and I come out of public school. I went to a public school, ended up going to Brown University, where I graduated valedictorian in my department, economics and sociology, and then went to Harvard, did the joint degrees at Harvard. Great. My public education prepared me to compete at a high level against students that had gone to Cranbrook, Choate, wonderful schools, whether in Forest Hills, wherever. And the point being is that we are saddling young people with massive amounts of student loan debt at the time when they should be able to begin their careers, create businesses, create jobs, become entrepreneurs if they so choose, explore how they're going to sow seeds into life. We don't need to be doing that. And the fact that you'd vote against your party, against your president, and vote against student loan debt relief is another example.
On paper, in theory, I think you're going to make some people out there in the Democratic Party happy to hear some of the points you're hitting on. How do you convince them, as a political outsider, that you deserve their trust and their vote as someone who doesn't have the same experience as Alyssa?
It's a different set of experiences, and that's the point. When we look at the 100-person body of the U.S. Senate, I think that we all want to make sure that there's different sets of experience per view and filters about what we fight for. Example, if I'm elected to the U.S. Senate, I would be the only active union member in the U.S. Senate. We're already down to 6% union membership in the private sector. Unions, particularly Michigan, deserve a voice in that 100-person body, and I would be the most voracious advocate for unions because I'm a 32-year union member who was elected to the national board of my union. That experience doesn't exist in the U.S. Senate right now. Another point, I'd be only one of 2 senators with a school-age, elementary-age child. Like we just talked about in gun violence, et cetera. We need people at that 100-person body that are experiencing what's happening in schools today. Not the way they went to school before, but actually dealing with schools actively right now. Another one, I'd be one of very few small business owners in the U.S. Senate. I think all of us hopefully agree that the engine of neighborhood and community economies is small business, investing in small business, making sure that small businesses can grow. From that standpoint, I understand what the challenges are with small business. Continuing to elect career government officials and career politicians to the 100-person body ends up with a result of what we're seeing now, a very narrow set of lived experience. I'm a cancer survivor. I was appointed by President Obama in 2011 to the President's Cancer Panel when we worked with then Vice President Biden's moonshot to cancer, and we would make recommendations to the White House on cancer policy. These are the types of experiences you want people to have. You know, and that's why I will fight to not just rubber stamp the National Defense Authorization Act, like my opponent has done, right? Because that's not my lived experience. It's been hers, and I don't begrudge her for that. That's the point I'm trying to make. CIA, Pentagon, working with George Bush White House, working the Obama White House. Okay, so that lived experience is going to lead you down the road to not vote for the Barbara Lee Mark Pocan bill that was to reduce the Department of Defense by $100 billion, right? I would have supported that. I would have co-sponsored that bill because I believe that the way we're spending our money is out of whack with and out of alignment with the way people want their money spent. It's our money. The $7.2 trillion annual budget is yours. You pay taxes. I pay taxes. Everybody who's watching pays taxes. It's their money, and they should have a say of how it's spent.
So you feel it's more of an advantage, if anything?
It's absolutely an advantage.
Okay.
And even the acting's an advantage. And you want to know why?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Is because the simple fact is that I've spent so much of my career trying to walk in other people's shoes, trying to really learn about why a character made this decision, why this person, trying to embody a character. And the one thing that we need more than anything in government right now is empathy. And the ability to stop making people villains just because you don't agree politically. I don't care if there's an R by your name, a D by your name, or an I by your name. I want to represent you, and I want to understand why you feel the way you do, so therefore I can represent you better. That is a skill that I cherish because it's one of my most important things. The idea of empathy and leadership, to me, they go hand in hand. And our politics have gotten so far away from that idea. And that's what I want to bring to the U.S. Senate and represent Michiganders from that purview.
What about the argument that because you're such a good actor, it might be hard to trust some of the things that you're saying to know if it's you or a character?
Here's the deal. I've been working in, and I've heard that so many times before, for instance, been working in prisons. Most of my adult career doing philanthropy. I wrote a book called Letters to an Incarcerated Brother to try to deal with mass incarceration. And people say all the time, man, you're Ivy League, double-degreed Ivy League educated. You've never been to prison. How can you relate to these guys that are gangbangers in prison? That can't be possible. No, you know how you relate to somebody no matter who they are? You look them in the eye like I'm looking at you now, and you say, man, I love you, I care about you, and I want to figure out how to make our world better. And I want to figure out what your issues are. And they believe you because people can smell a fraud, a fake. You know, and so it's if people watch it, and you can see it through a camera. You know, they know, why would I walk away from a really good job to try to represent folks in a way if it wasn't real. And moreover, the point is that if folks like what they've been getting from our federal government and what they've really been getting, then I'm probably not for you. Right? If you think that our Congress is broken and you think that it needs more diversity not just in terms of race, but more diversity in terms of lived experience, which I certainly believe it does, then I'm your candidate. And again, the hope is obviously August 6th. I'm running in the Democratic primary, and you can't cross-vote, so you got to pull a Democratic primary ballot and vote just in the Democratic side to vote for me. But hopefully we get through, we win August 6th, and on the November ballot, anybody can vote for this candidate, that candidate, and jump around. And I'm sure that what we've been talking about, and this is why my candidacy has so much grassroots momentum, that's why we have so many people that show up at our events, is because people want that type of representation. They want real representation. They don't want to believe that just because someone wrote a big check or is taking PAC money, that the PAC or that check or that big donor is actually going to be more represented than they are. And they can trust that one because I'm not taking that money.
I would imagine you've never done anything like this in your life before, to this degree.
To this degree, yeah. I got elected to the national board of my union, negotiated contracts for them. It was the entire union membership. But this is a whole different degree.
What are some of any big surprises or challenges? Or I can't imagine what this campaign has been like for you because it is such a new undertaking. What are your biggest takeaways from this process?
You know, man, biggest surprise has been a disappointment that the media has allowed my opponent to get away with pulling out of debates and hasn't called her to task for doing that. The whole point of a democracy is for people to be informed and informed voters. And that's why you have debates. There are only two candidates running for an open U.S. Senate seat in the state of Michigan in the Democratic side. And people deserve to hear from both of us to see the differences and then make their decisions, whose values line up with them. And unfortunately, it's only the media that can actually hold it to task. For instance, here, Fox 17, right here, there could be two podiums and we could schedule a debate.
How about this?
Yes.
Improv class. Let's pretend I'm Alyssa. What are some of the things you would want to ask her face to face?
That'd be great. I would love to ask her why she took a $2,800 check from Harlan Crow and didn't return it. And I would say, you know, what most people believe the reason why Harlan Crow makes you take that check and keep it is because he's one of the biggest dark money funders in the country. And he's going to funnel dark money to you, but he wants to make sure you take that check on the federal records because you won't be able to disavow him. Because if you take all this dark money, it's dark. And if you don't actually have something on the record that you took money from him up front, even if it's just $2,800 compared to the millions he gives you in dark money, then there's no record. I'd ask her, is that true? Why? Why didn't you return the check? Do you think Harlan Crow is appropriate, particularly as a Democrat, really? All the nefarious activity he's done with Clarence and Ginny Thomas, you know, vacations, private jets, and you're going to accept that check? Why? I'd like to know that. I'd like to understand. So go ahead, Alyssa.
Well, unfortunately, that's where the improv class ends. We're out of time, Alyssa. But like you know, we will be talking to her, so I just wanted to give you the opportunity to maybe see what we could ask her.
We can ask other things.
Comes.
Why did you make a vote recently to allow for continued not warrantless surveillance of American citizens in that FISA vote? What is that vote about? Is it because your life experience is that of the CIA and you think that warrantless surveillance of American citizens is okay? I don't. Now, never been to the CIA. I did go to Marine Corps Officer Candidate School and graduated from PLC Class 1 in Quantico, Virginia. But I'm not going to compare that anywhere near what you've done. But no matter what, I'm more interested in freedoms and individual liberty. And there's a reason why there should be a process for warrants. And also we know that warrantless targeting happens and people are targeted from underrepresented groups, minorities, poor people, folks from the Middle East, etc. They're targeted more. And that's why we want to have a warrant process before you can have searches and surveillance. I would not vote for warrantless of an American citizen. That's one. ICC vote. Okay, when Putin is charged with war crimes by the ICC, that would seemingly okay, or Kony in Africa, or Milosevic. But why sanction and vote with the MAGA Republicans last week to sanction the ICC on their vote to say that Netanyahu has committed war crimes. Why? Why? Does it have anything to do with you've taken almost $600,000 from AIPAC? Are those two things completely unrelated? Those are some questions, some really interesting, hard questions that need to be asked.
Let's flip the script here for a second. What would you anticipate some of those hard-hitting questions that would come from her directed at you?
You know, I think that from what some folks have tried to say goes back to what you talked about earlier. What makes you think that you have the experience to be part of that 100-person body? And, you know, I'll tack my resume up against anybody. I have 10 honorary doctoral degrees, 2 graduate degrees from Harvard with honors. I was in just also individual things, like I was the national spokesperson for the Innocence Project. I'm firmly against the death penalty, which I'm not sure where she comes down, but I have a feeling she'd be opposite of that. I was also the national spokesperson for the Lawyers Committee for Civil Rights under law. My mom was proud about that because I finally used my law degree. But that was about voter protection. You know, those are the types of things that I would reference and talk about, being a national spokesperson for one fair wage. The fact that we haven't moved up and accelerated our minimum wage since 2009 federally is a massive problem. And I was proud to get out in front. Hopefully one fair wage is going to end up on the November ballot, and hopefully I'll be there with it on the November ballot here in Michigan. It's important. And as a small business owner, I know what the concerns are about elevating minimum wage, et cetera. But I believe that everybody wins if we do elevate it. And I can say that as a small business owner. And so those are some of the things. But then I would just point to examples. The senator that I would probably be most like is a senator that was a professor at my alma mater, Harvard Law School, and her name is Elizabeth Warren. I think Senator Warren is a fantastic senator. And she had no electoral experience before she became a senator. And I think that she fights the right fights. She does an outstanding job. And therefore, I hold her up as an example of the type of senator I'd like to be, but also the fact that I believe the filter about what she fights for comes from her lived experience, which has nothing to do with previous electoral experience.
We'll end with this, not to keep tying it to your acting days, but I want you to look into this camera over here, camera 3, and this will be your final message to West Michigan, your monologue, if you will.
Okay. Well, so first of all, West Michigan, I'm so proud to have the opportunity to represent you. There are going to be 2 names on the Democratic ballot on August 6th and leading up to August 6th, with 9 days of early voting, 40 days of absentee voting, and remember, same-day registration. A couple things that folks need to know. We have some of the best voting rights in the country here in Michigan. You could be on probation, parole. You could actually be in jail awaiting sentencing and still vote. You have to be 18 by November 5th. So if you're a senior in high school and just graduated, even if you're 17 on August 8th, if you're 18 by November 5th, you can still vote. And remember this: the first 3 words of the Michigan Constitution and the first 3 words of the U.S. Constitution are exactly the same. We the people. It doesn't say we the super PAC. It doesn't say we the political party. It doesn't say we the politician. It says we the people. My candidacy, this candidacy for this U.S. Senate seat, is all about representing people and the power of people. And that's why, I'll tell you, we've been traveling around. In fact, I have it in my car. I should have brought it and put it here. We've been traveling around with a seat, and people have been signing the seat. And that's the seat I'm going to sit in the U.S. Senate with all Michiganders' signatures, because the idea of U.S. Senate is that we all have to lock arms and walk in there together. This is about collective action. Dr. King said we're all tied together in a single garment of mutual destiny. That means our destinies are inextricably linked. West Michigan to Southeast Michigan. We're all in this together. And the more we represent our common humanity and work together, we will actually solve big problems together. And I would love to do that with you, in conjunction with you.
August 6th, 2024. We'll
6th.
see if that seat might get put to good use.
That's
Hill
right.
Harper versus Alyssa Slotkin. Thank you so much for joining us
Appreciate
today.
it. Thank you so much.